Hello there everyone, and welcome to the very last episode of Mods for Monday in 2024. I have really been enjoying making this series so much, and I just wish that I actually started making these videos at the beginning of year when I originally intended to. Since I started actually modding Skyrim, it's really given me the drive to attempt to make mods of my own. It's quite an interesting thing to do. I'm loving it. It's going terribly wrong, but I'm enjoying it at the same time. I feel as if I did start this way back in January, I probably would be a lot better at it by now, but it's all about the learning process. The main thing is, I'm loving it. That's the important part, just having fun. But back to the reason of the video, and that is your weekly fix of mods for Skyrim. So let's get into this. For the first mod of today's episode of Mods for Monday, let's take a look at some light Dragonbone armor, which this armor is pretty much self-explanatory. This is a light version of the Dragonbone armor, and while still keeping up quite a good protection rating, this is much lighter, allowing us to have more room in our inventory while carrying some decent armor. There are a few multiple choice options, as there is 3 choices of masks you can wear. There is a full mask, heavy mask, and just a mask. Plus, you are going to get 2 choices of boots. One just called light Dragonbone boots, and the other is a pair of light Dragonbone plate boots, offering just a bit more protection than the other ones. Then you are also going to get 2 types of gauntlets, which are light Dragonbone gauntlets, and the other one being light Dragonbone semi-gauntlets. So you can pick and choose from a few options of how you would like to wear this armor. Overall, this armor set is pretty decent. Next up, for the second mod, let's have a look at Lunar Guard armor, which is a craftable ebony tier heavy armor that has been inspired heavily by the Khajiits, and anyone can wear it. It doesn't matter when it comes to the gender you choose or the race you play as. But I will say, this will look epic playing as a Khajiit. It's actually the one race that I've never played on Skyrim, and I think it's about time. So to create this ebony tier armor, you're going to need the ebony crafting perk. It will also require items the same as the ebony armor, but the only additional thing you're going to need is moonstone to make this lunar armor. You're also going to be able to upgrade this to make it even stronger while maintaining its lightness, but you are again going to need moonstone to do this. And yes, you are going to be able to put any of your preferred enchantments on this armor set. Up next, let's take a look into the world of JK Skyrim. First off, absolutely love the JK Skyrim like overhauls that this person does. I think they're all just amazing, and it is exactly what Skyrim needs to a lot of its areas. So, of course, this one is called JK's Thieves Guild HQ, which this, like all the other JK mods, is a much enhanced overhaul of the Thieves Guild, and I must say, it really needed this. This really has made the place so much better, and now there are 2 levels in this room, which I always thought it was needed, as there was just too much space from the floor to the ceiling. All the beds that were originally found around the room, they all now have walls, making them more into a private space for the guild members. Plus there is now a bar added, giving it more of a communal space for people to eat and drink. And for all of those loot hoarders, there are many more crates, chests and drawers for you to go through, and still even more loot to either store back at your home or sell to your very own trusty trader. Overall, this mod has really changed the Thieves Guild HQ, really making it look and feel like a full-scale criminal organisation is actually living down here. Have you ever wanted to see an actual Dragonskull as a shield? Well, thanks to simply Dragonskull Shield, we are now able to do so. For this mod, you will require to have the dragon smithing perk, but once you have it, the materials you will need to craft this are just dragon bones, iron ingots and leather strips. Some pretty easy stuff for a high level dragonborn to get a hold of, and this shield really does look like it's going to do some serious damage if you were to bash someone with it. I really do like the idea of having this as a shield, and I think it just should have already been in the game for vanilla Skyrim. That way you really could emphasize on the fact that you are the dragonborn and that you slay dragons. Moving on to mod number 5. We have the last DX style armor that I'm going to show you this year, and this one is called Celes Rogue Armor, which is a light leather armor that is very much suited for those stealthy character builds. So just like all the other DX style armors, there is a crafting manual that you're going to need to get. And of course, being a stealth armor, you're going to find it with the Thieves Guild down in the Ragged Flagon. Just head over to where the bar is. On the left hand side, you're going to find a table. The book is right there. Just pick it straight up. So it's actually quite simple to find this, which is really good. But there is another step needed before you actually craft this armor. You're going to need to make black dye at the cooking station using canis root, snowberries, and void salt. Once you have done this, go to the tanning rack and create black leather. With the black dye and leather, that's all you need to make it. After that, you can finally create this armor at the forge. But things to note is the black dye can actually also be used as poison to add to your weapon. So even once you have made this armor, the dye has multiple uses. If you have some extra just lying around, you might as well just put it on your blade. There is also this really cool looking dagger that this mod will give you as well, just to go alongside the armor. It's pretty neat. But mod number 6, this one is called Steel Plate Armor Retexture. This, as the title suggests, is just a mod that is going to improve on the steel plate armor with much needed, more realistic textures while giving it a much more cleaner look when you're close up and adding in some much needed realistic reflections. It actually makes it seem as if the Dragonbone is really taking care of this armor, making sure it is so shiny. So basically, it's just a mod that's going to make the armor more lifelike, bringing out the textures and making them look much more sharper. Let's have a look at a standalone weapon mod called the Devil's Tooth. This is a longsword that has a design from which it is based off a Netflix TV show called Cursed. This is a show I've never seen, let alone nor heard of, so please let me know down in the comments below if you have and if it is worth watching. This weapon is fully craftable and says that there is a craftable version for each of the materials from steel to daedric. So depending on the one you build, so steel, it's going to have its own damage rating, but then if you made one in daedric, it's going to have a much more higher damage rating. This is an awesome looking blade, and I really do love the look of the red markings that go all the way up the center of the blade and the engravings on the hilt. It's all really well designed. This next one is just awesome. That's the only way that I can just describe it. It's awesome. This is called Dwarven Grenades. I had a lot of fun playing around with this mod, as I just love blowing things up in video games. So this is a standalone grenade throwing mod, and you're able to craft these at the forge, but you're going to need items such as Centurion Dynamo cores, salts, or ingots. So you best get diving into those Dwemer ruins to get those cores. You're going to be able to craft grenades such as earth, fire, frost, thunder, water, and earth bombs. If this is a mod that does interest you, there is an additional mod that you are going to need to download for this to work. It is called Elemental Destruction Magic Redux, and this adds a bunch of new types of spells, which I am going to get into even more detail in another video. For the final mod of 2024, let's finish off with giant crab shells. This mod is going to allow us to find all along the coast of the frozen depths of the Sea of Ghosts those very old legendary shells, giant crabs, that have been said to have sank the ships of the Nords of old. But these giant crabs met their end by the most formidable warriors to finally bring peace that was needed of the seas of Skyrim. This definitely does make walking around the Sea of Ghosts area a whole lot more interesting, but it would have been so much cooler if these crabs were actually still walking around for us to hunt down. Some of them are absolutely enormous. And there we have it, the last episode of Mods for Monday in 2024. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey of modding Skyrim. I really appreciate each and every one of you who has been coming along every Monday and watching this series. I hope you have all had a great Christmas and are enjoying the festivities all the way up into the new year. But all that is left to say is if you like what you see, please leave a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, and Mods for Monday will return in 2025. Goodbye.